What's up, guys? So this week was a little hectic to say the least. This week was finals week for me, so I kind of had a lot of time because I wasn't working and didn't actually have class, just kind of finals. So I had a lot of free time, so to speak. I also had to study quite a bit, so training really didn't change that much. I got all my training in. Just kind of like sleep and nutrition hasn't been ideal, not just this past week, but for a while now. So I can't expect amazing results, PRs and stuff like that, with kind of suboptimal recovery, if you want to call nutrition and sleep those two things. But nonetheless, it wasn't a bad week of training. There was definitely some highs and lows. My highs kind of came on the latter end of the week, my 2 non-cube days, when I was kind of a little bit more relaxed and less stressed out. And I don't think you could ever people like to separate, your personal life and your training so much. But stress is stress, and you're kind of naive if you think that one of those things aren't going to affect another thing. So kind of like my message, I guess, in this video, short little message, is understand that during periods of high stress outside of the gym, you may, just be a little bit subpar, and understand it's not that big of a deal. In the long scheme of things, just getting some work in during the week. You don't need to PR every single week, and hopefully not every single week of your life is incredibly stressful. So kind of learn, I've talked about this before, but learn to push it when you're feeling good, and learn to kind of, in a different kind of sense, back off when you're not. So I said, probably, especially my deadlift day this week, and really just kind of the whole week, even this squat session you'll see here, I high barred 305 for 5, which is pretty good. This I think I just have one set in here. These are 2 long 2-second pauses at 290 for, I believe, 5 or 6. So definitely some good numbers, but just overall, I wasn't feeling very poppy. Again, that's kind of an esoteric kind of comment for a lot of people when I mean like poppy and springy. But I think some people who train know what that means. Everything kind of feels a little bit lighter sometimes, or heavier. I've had that kind of feeling with squat for the past, almost I've started the cube. Things really haven't felt springy for me, but I've made some adjustments. Definitely don't feel incredibly, explosive, I guess is a good word to explain it as, but nonetheless, I got some pretty good work in, and that 290 for 6, I believe, was a PR for a pause squat anyways. Bench press went well. Again, I hit 215 for 2 sets of 8, and then 1 set of 7, so it was my rep day. It's not the 3 weeks now for the cube changes a little bit. It's still rep day, max effort day, and whatnot, but the reps get lower. So I think the first rep week for bench press was like 8 to 12, and then this week it was 4 to 8. So it's still like rep work, but again, it's not that extreme high reps, what I'm really not accustomed to at all for the compounds. And this was a little bit more my avenue with about 8s. Talking about the actual lift here. I'm noticing this isn't a very straight bar path, especially on I think my 3rd set. Actually, I think I progressively get a little bit better because I'm watching these as I train, which I definitely recommend people do if they're going to film themselves. Watch it in between your sets. You kind of get some direct feedback to make some adjustments. I'm also super color coordinated with my New Balances and neon green Under Armour shorts. I always laugh watching Brandon Campbell's videos talking about how he doesn't care these color coordinating, and I'm the same way 95% of the time. But I did strategically do that. But anyways, this was the last set of 7 here. Really similar. This is probably a PR for me, at least at 8 reps. I'm not really sure. If not, it's not far off of what I've done. But again, just wasn't feeling incredibly springy. Another thing I'm noticing, I'm not trying to hate on the cube method at all. Brandon Lilly is, probably legitimately twice as strong as I am. But I don't feel smooth with a lot of the movements. I'm feeling like they're a little bit more foreign than I'm accustomed to. This right here is a close grip PR for me. I actually was trying to, I think the program calls for 2 to 3 reps, but I actually went for 4s because it was my last close grip set, and I went for it. It was a rep day. It's not really max effort, and I hit it for 4. So 230 for 4 is pretty good for me on a close grip. So I'm liking that kind of mix up. I didn't know how much I would like the close grip bench press. I've almost never really consistently done that. But kind of going back to the difference between the cube and what I've been doing prior to this, for quite a while, my frequency is really high. You know, I ran Small Dog Junior for bench and bench 4 times a week, and probably have benched at least twice a week since Small Dog, and usually 3 times per week. Same thing with squatting, at least twice a week, most of the time. Maybe some squat variation, maybe like a back, front, back kind of work, but at least twice a week, and most time 3 times a week. So I'm still squatting twice a week, but now that I'm only flat bench pressing once per week and pulling once per week, I think I used to up my frequency to deadlift. That's when it really shot up, honestly, to two times per week. Now that I'm only pulling once a week, it's just, you know, the movements don't feel as natural as they used to, and maybe that will change, but for now, that's just kind of some really quick feedback I've gotten on the cube. And again, I can't directly put that on the cube because, like I said in the intro of the video, my recovery habits have definitely been subpar, so you cannot expect a miracle if you're not doing the things you need to outside of the gym. You know, it's hard after a while, once you get to a certain level of progress, to just keep banging out PRs if you're not doing the right things. So this here was actually an attempt at a block pull. Again, I was just roasted on this deadlift day. I'm not sure if you can tell, but yeah, it didn't feel like bad. I felt these lifts felt fine. They just felt really heavy. So this was actually 425 for the longest single probably of my life. Block pulls are incredibly hard for me because I can't get my legs in it at all, so it's pretty much all back, which is definitely kind of my weaker spot in a deadlift. So I backed off. I think it called for 2 sets of just 1 to 2, and even this 385, which, you know, shouldn't be that hard. I can pull this from, you know, at least a triple off the floor, was still pretty damn hard for a double there. And then kind of in a strange way, I think I hit my first set like 325 for a deficit, and actually this is a PR. This is 340 for 5 here. Don't look amazing like my conventional deadlifts always do. Yeah, overall kind of hot and cold week. Again, I can't expect miracles, but I think a good week would be I survived this week with finals and everything, and I'm actually going to put up a separate video about some of my assistance work, which actually went a little bit better as far as PR stuff like that. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.